Week 6, Translation and the Medical Documents. In English, interpreting and translating have two different meanings. Interpreting refers to conveying meaning from one language to another in oral form, while translating speaks to doing the same in written form. But often the interpreter is called on to do both. This week we'll explore translation, both written and oral. Remember your journal, discussion, Bible search, and YouTube related to medical documents. In each case, you will be posting to the appropriate forum. This week's project is to translate from English into your interpreting language a brief medical document. It can be the one from week 5. And post it for discussion. You should be completing the reading of a book on medical interpreting and have begun writing a brief 3 to 5 page summary of the book and an evaluation. This assignment will be due at the end of the course. Continue adding questions to the question board. You'll get a bonus for each question submitted. If your question is chosen for the final exam, you'll get double bonus points. Finally, remember, by the end of the course, you will be expected to have developed a lexicon or glossary where you list the words and corresponding words in your chosen language. Adding to it weekly will help make its final presentation easier. Advanced written translation training focusing on healthcare documents will involve lexicographical training in healthcare terminology and intensive practice in translating the following types of healthcare documents: discharge information, degrees and diplomas, living wills, patient educational materials, etc. Most translation on these kinds of documents can be done at the translator's leisure, with a collection of source material at their disposal. This is not the case in the healthcare provider's examining room or hospital room. The interpreter will, from time to time, be called on to sight translate any of the above-mentioned documents, as well as many others. At that time, the interpreter will probably not have access to anything besides their own experience and background. That is why it's imperative that the interpreter avail themselves of the opportunity to read through as many of these types of documents as possible. You might even want to take notes on some of the more common documents used in the healthcare setting, so that when faced with these documents, translating them will be relatively easy. As mentioned before, much of what goes on in the healthcare setting is formulaic, and therefore the same documents will turn up time and time again. Of course, at times, the interpreter will be called on to translate special documents. These might include letters, notes, or other documents which will be brought to the healthcare setting for one purpose or another. Preparation for these will not be able to be done beforehand, but a few tips might help when facing these or any documents. First, ask the healthcare provider for a moment to read through the document. Read it all the way through before beginning the translation. The interpreter does not need to feel the pressure of having to do it under a time limit, but it will be important to do it quickly. After reading the document, begin the translation, but don't try to translate the words verbatim. Mentally rewrite the document into the target language so that it makes sense, because that is what you're wanting to happen. In this particular case, the words are not as important as the meaning. Therefore, make sure that what is being translated is intelligible to those hearing it. Finally, understand that you will make mistakes. Don't let them haunt you. Let them make you a better interpreter by looking them up, learning from them, and doing better next time.